Welcome, everybody. Good to see you, Norma.
What is
Make sure you like and share. It's really important for the algorithm, and we appreciate you. Hello, Cindy. How are you? Good to see you. Norma Jean, how you doing?
Whew, I'm doing good.
We just came back in from a pretty big hike, a lot of berry eating. Little communing with nature.
Yep.
Yeah. Kept BB out of the mud today, which was awesome.
That is an accomplishment within itself.
Yeah, yeah, and Norma Jean's doing better at keeping up a pace. So progress, progress over perfect. Isn't that a really good analogy for today as well? To remind everyone that wherever you're at in this time, in this space, you do not need to be perfect. What is important is that you're progressing in the way that you desire, and whatever that desire may be for you. So don't forget that that's really important, to make sure that you're taking care of you, doing what resonates with you, and what lifts you up, what inspires you. And I know for me, nature's huge. If I'm not getting out in nature, I don't feel right. Life's not good for me, so to speak.
It goes for the two of us. It's definitely very vitally important to have that connection. It
Mm,
it definitely helps you to understand how to regulate self by understanding how nature itself regulates, and understanding the elements and how they work in harmony, as well as in contrast with one another, as far as where the alchemization is, and where that's concerned in what's taking what may be in effect for that environment or that area. So yeah, get out there. It's that time. Get out there, enjoy. It's beautiful, it's warm. Go do some sweating, man. I'm telling you, it's good for the body to do a little bit of sweating, and actually sweat out whatever, no matter what it is. Sweat is an alchemization just like anything else, because as soon as you make that sweat, guess what? It turns into a gas, so to speak. It moves away from you. So yeah, get out, have fun, man. Just do it.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good to see you, Berkeley. Good to see you as well, Albarn B. And remember, rain days are great days too. Rain days can be more of an inward day, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I woke up today and I was like, there's more birds singing. There's something shifting. There's a shift that happened overnight. And we were down at the beach. Was that yesterday?
The day before.
Day before. Okay. And there was something going on down at the beach. I'm not so sure what, but there was search and rescue boat and a helicopter, and they were like scanning the water in a very yeah,
Red.
distinct
Yeah, really
way, and
red.
I'm not sure what that was about. I haven't heard anything, and you cannot swim in the water right now down there, which says a lot. Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but something's up. Yeah, and then hearing the birds today, and even when we were out in nature today, you can just there's more vibrancy going on, a higher elevation. We are approaching a new moon. We're also approaching a 6-6 portal, and so um, that would be no 7-7 portal. Sorry, I was going backwards for a minute.
Hey, it's bound to happen.
Right? Absolutely. Yeah, I spent a week at camp. Lots of new bugs and birds singing all day. Awesome, Berkeley. Good to hear. Absolutely. Good to spend a week at camp. Good to spend time in nature. When we were speaking with Ashala the other day, she's been camping and it's been quite cool, but she's now on vacation. So very excited for her. We did do a live over on her channel on YouTube, if you wanted to check that out, and had a bit of reading to it, as well as the discussion about Vedette Lake and different perspectives from us on it. So definitely worth checking out. And we are filling up for that Vedette Lake trip. It will be the last one of the year, to the best of my knowledge. And we are not sure what's next. So, I mean, we're really itching to get on the road, so to speak. So we'll see what happens with that. And a little more online time. We've launched membership officially. And Norma, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. We created this membership for purpose and a reason, and that is for you and the ones who choose to come join us over there to be able to interact with us one-on-one. These are going to be interactive live Zooms where you can come in and be able to ask us directly questions. Let us know what's going on with you, expressing where you're at, what's going on, what it is that you feel you may need some guidance or, some tools to be offered to you. And of course, we're going to be there to give you, our own take on things, because, just like y'all, we're going through these experiences just like anyone else. And, sometimes you learn more from someone when you're able to talk to them directly. And when you're able to be in that flow, in that energy flow, where, when we give our life experiences and how we handle things, sometimes it gives you that chance and opportunity to hear it in that live, because what's happening is we're coming together, and in that togetherness, we're setting a tone, which means we're setting that vibration, we're setting that frequency. And so, we also have, I definitely have a blog that's up. That's a part of the membership that I've worked very hard on, and there's still so much more to come. What I've got there is there's a lot of information there, and it's the information to be able to give you the chance and opportunity to go in and read it and be able to absorb that information for self, because it's so vitally important for you to be able to do that for yourself. Because when you go in and you take in information, what you're doing is you're telling your brain to take this information in to be able to bring to the mind and be able to bring the two aspects of self, which is the masculine and feminine, to meet in the middle, to be able to come to a consensus for self as to what that information may be and what it may represent in your understanding. So that way you can take and begin to talk yourself into understanding that you're allowing yourself to know the truth of things. We also will be providing that, even though it's going to be in what's called the courses area, these live Zooms are going to be put into those courses areas. So that way you as members can go back and rewatch, because once that tone is set, once that vibration is there and that frequency is emitted, and it's during that process in time, and what happens is it attaches to that video. So anytime somebody comes in and rewatches that video, it's going to hold that same frequency. Then on top of that, what makes this more even powerful and beautiful is that our live interactions in, the questions and everything that you bring to us is going to be answered in real time. And what that's going to do is we're going to be able to, put specific, oh crap, my mind just went blank. We'll be able to express specifically what those videos are over. Like, it could be a specific topic or specific subject that we cover more in that video. So that way, when people go and they look at this video, they know exactly what it is, what it's being covered, what's taking place. And that way more people get what they need out of these videos. And then on top of that, we have a community. I have a community where, there's two of them right now. There's one specific that is a community for the blog. There's going to be a community that's just going to be a general community where we can have just the ability to be able to directly let you know what's going on inside of Inner Collective, which is a part of Adventures for Connection. And so what we're doing is right now it's going to be a slow start, because, we're just starting out. And this is something that we're building upon, because you, the individuals that choose to come and join us on this membership, what y'all going to do is help assist us in understanding how to create better content, how to better improve on anything that needs to be improved upon for this setup. So that way there's a definitely a harmonious flow to the content or anything else that you want to be able to get to, and it be instantaneous and it be such a beautiful flow. Now, what we got going on right now is there's a special promo code. It's 30-day, 33 free. And there's a specificness to this, and there's always a method to this madness, especially when I'm involved. So what we're doing is we're offering 33 people to come in and to be a part of this membership for free for 30 days. Because we want you to be a part of that platform that we are fixing to springboard off of. And between me and T have sat here and we've ensured that the foundation, we've built this community in this structure, in this this beautiful connection of a place called Intercollective through AFC, is a solid foundation. So from there, it's just going to be building upon that foundation to create even more significant content, and bringing in individuals that want to be able to utilize our platform to springboard off of as well. So that way we can offer any and everyone that comes into more about themselves a place to begin. So that's what we've got going on right now. And, it's one of those that there's going to be a lot of subjects and contents we cannot speak to all the time on here, if any at all. Just like being able to bring forth and bring to you, more information about the financial situation and my understanding of what's going on, what's going to be some of the best steps you can take going through crypto, and helping you understand more and more about what the cryptocurrency and all that represents and what it's about. And of course, the beautiful thing too is T is going to be offering morning meditations 3 days a week. And it's going to be live Zooms for anyone that wants to be able to come in and be able to be a part of that as she's creating this content. But of course, it's going to go under her Soulful Alchemy course area. So that way anybody can watch them. You can continue to watch them. If there's one that resonates with you more, you'll have the ability to be able to just go back to that one and just watch it over and over again. See, that's the beauty about this build, is that we want to be able to build it in a way where anything you need or anything you want to be able to go out, be able to go back and watch and hear something different, you will have that ability to do so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those meditations in the morning are more to help you get onto a higher frequency. So to elevate yourself. And one of the biggest reasons for creating the platform was to have that automatic feedback going on. But most importantly, because then we're not controlled by any one platform, that we can now harness that control, so to speak, not control, but you know what I mean, creation, right? I've been wiped out recently. A whole bunch of videos have been taken down, right? So it just made sense, and we're being driven, pushed, guided towards that. And so some of the weekly meetings that we'll have, some will be strictly on, if you're looking for more healing, or we can do breakout rooms. So we have so much flexibility and so many options and so many possibilities that we want to co-create with you. We don't want this to be about us. For the first free month, there are no strings. You can cancel after that first month if it's not for you. You can cancel anytime. There's no rules, right? But if you've paid for a month or a weekend, we won't be doing refunds. So absolutely, it's a co-creation. We really wanted to join with you. I don't know of anyone doing it quite like this that I've seen that is really engaging this much within the platform. And so giving you a lot of opportunity to share and to co-create with us. And so then there's the option of coming on board as well as we grow. We've got Alex, we've got David, they'll come in on some of these as guests, and we'll pre-plan those. And then eventually they will have courses as well. And so we're really excited to launch this in a new way and co-create with you guys. So yeah, if it's we'd love to see you. That's all. Yeah, absolutely. And today is about you as well. So if you have any questions, you have something you're struggling with and you're comfortable throwing it in the chat, go ahead and we'll definitely discuss and address it. I know we've got a big week coming up. We get to have July 1st, which is Canada Day for us, which is Monday. So we have a stat holiday here tomorrow, but it is the first meditation is tomorrow morning. And then on July 4th is another big day, Independence Day in the US. And I just want to remind you guys, the more you keep your attention and intention with self and what you can control and what you can do versus listening to these outside stories, because I've been reminded of a year ago at this time when everyone's like, it's happening. Nothing happened. And I'm not saying it won't. All I'm saying is every time you set that expectation and you give your energy away, it's siphoning your energy, not unlike Monsters Inc. with the freaking scare, right? the monster is scary. Like, once I knew the truth of that movie, I was like, "Oh, damn."
Well,
Yeah,
it's beautiful because, the conversation that we were having, while we were having a walk was that, you know, for the most part, is understanding that, the world in which we are, having this journey and this experience in called life in this plane of existence, that the 3D plane is reflecting to us the world that we are.
yeah,
And when we understand that, okay, if my environment's telling me something about me, because that's what's happening, because any environment that you're in tells you where in that timeline or that paradigm or that portal or that gateway you've walked through is letting you know, hey, this is reflecting back to you. So this tells you that this is a part of something within your world that you need to look at, you need to sit with, you need to say, okay, if this is something that I see, then it's something that I need to change about my perspective, something that I feel about myself, something where I must step back and just be an observer and not a judger of self, and to allow those environments to really actually tell you a lot about what is going on in your world. Because you see, when you come to understand that and you begin to give yourself the knowledge and the information that's out here just to be able to have a greater understanding of what all this is, then what you begin to do is you begin to have those conversations in the mind where you meet in the middle and you have the three that come together. And believe me, there's a lot that changes within the world of you. This is what we talk about when you're sitting at your crown. You're sitting at the throne of the crown of the meeting place that the three come together to meet to become the one of the understanding of self. So, it's definitely when we come to understand that this is about us and about the world in which we are experiencing. We must understand that the world that we're experiencing outside of ourselves is happening within us. And once we begin to understand how to bring everything together to have that commonality of the understanding of the world that you really ultimately want to experience because it exists, it's already there. This is where it's like you begin to understand how to be that leader, be that king or queen of self in helping the world, the cosmos, the universe, the multiverse that you are, come to an agreement where the world within you begins to become more beautiful within you because you recognize more about who you are. And then this world out here begins to change because you begin to shift through the timelines and the paradigms and the portals and gateways, whatever it is that you want to, believe, or whatever it is that, gets you where it is you need to go. That this is a beautiful process. And hence the reason why we created this, this membership is because we want to be able to get to know you on a personal basis. We want to be able to have these interactions with you. We want to be able to watch you become just as we've become. We want y'all to see how much we're becoming. So, this is I'm excited, and I can't wait to see what happens and what takes place from here. So
absolutely. Beautiful. Berkeley's asking, I'm finding it hard to control my mind. I keep picking apart my partner and it comes out of nowhere. Habit and subconscious programming. So if you can attend those meditations, it will greatly help. And so you can even repeat, right? You can go back and grab previous ones just to keep yourself in a set. If you do something like that for 30 days, you will find it shift 100%, I guarantee, because it's just a habit, it's a reaction. And so it's remember if you can, by your tongue, and wait and respond, because it is so habitual that it makes it really challenging to not be that way. And I know some things come out of my mouth and I'm like, did I just say that? Right? It's some deep-seated programming and there's been overlays and so don't be too hard on yourself. Hello, lovely Ada.
you
Yeah,
know
it's beautiful to see
um,
other people bloom. Go ahead.
and I want to express this, given what I just spoke to, is when I said that we need to understand that we got to bring everyone together. It's not just the three. You got to understand we exist in this plane of existence where there's multiple planes. And in those multiple planes, there are multiple spirits, there are multiple gods, there are multiple daemons, there are multiple energies, simply put. And when we're at that place where our mind is being such an annoyance, so to speak. And what it is that that's when you begin to recognize as time goes on. The one thing I recognized about myself was whenever I was having they're not really conversations. It's like their voices coming at you, and kind of in a way, it is like that. And what that means is that those energies that are here with us and having those experiences with us that are also assisting us through this are the ones that you're hearing, because what happens is that they become a part of that programming, because that's the beauty of this process is understanding that we're here having this experience to become. In that becoming is understanding that we have to become with all other things that exist. We have to become with all the energies that are. And that's where we begin to understand spirit and daemons and archetypes and energies and your elements and your platonics and your all the beauty of all this. So given where you are, I hear you. I understand where you're at exactly. And a lot of it is when we come to that space and place that we have the understanding and the knowledge needed to recognize that it's not you doing it, but that it's something that's niggling you, and it's a spirit, and it's because it wants to be heard. That's when you can stop yourself, because you're like, that's not me. That's not me. And I refuse to allow that to be something that controls me, just because it's a part of a patterning or a habit. So keep moving, keep going forward, just recognize. And this is where you become more aware of who you are in all this, and what those programs and what those spirits or those daemons or those energies are. But understand, don't judge them, just recognize them. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's even, Om 21 times every single morning. Anything that starts to give your mind something to focus on while you come into alignment, so to speak.
Right.
Right? There's some really beautiful and profound ways, and this is why we're here. Because we know it's not easy. We know, because you have to remember, how long did it take to get to this level and this point? And to know that this is an ongoing, to realize that you are so much more than just this human in this experience. You're a soul having a human experience. We get to elevate and expand right now. I don't know who else is like having more vivid dreams or little visuals, or right now I'm being like really pushed on energetically at the moment for something to be said and come through. So I'm just giving it a minute, but this is happening more and more and more. So yeah, and the more you can become that observer, because remember, you're not the one speaking, you're not the one thinking, you're the one observing that. These eyes are not for seeing, they're for projecting. And we can do a whole little clip on that. Absolutely. Because that's right, that one to explain. And you put up a really good post in the Telegram group of being in the center point. And then we got the future and the past, but this is the plane of existence. And it's really important to remember that, because then everything else seems so like almost not unimportant, but you're less attached to it, because now you have a new perspective. Now you realize that done this so many times. All right, so how can I play this game a little better? How can I improve my ability? How can I improve my frequency, my vibration? How can I increase my finances? How can I not worry about my children? How can I leave a legacy for them? We've got some information about trusts around that we're just working on right now. So we are talking about a full encompassing being in 5D consciousness, having that capacity, but being able to operate in this 3D with joy and ease. This does not have to be hard. It will not be hard. I refuse to let it be hard. I've had a couple things bump up against me recently, and I was like, why is that one coming up? And I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to speak to it, because everything I speak about, right, can be manifested. So just know that something is like out of my reality. So I looked at it and I went, nah, no, thank you. That's gone, right? I'm not giving it any attention or intention. And in fact, I even made a phone call about it and never got a call back. So I was like, even that worked. So to celebrate those little wins. Absolutely. Celebrate you, celebrate those you love, celebrate whatever brings you joy. Now, we both have a really good challenge happening in our home right now, and that would be the cat. Boots is struggling. He's caterwauling. He needs a friend. I keep getting he needs a friend. I'm like, I'm not getting another cat. I'm not getting another cat. So we will have to see. You're good, Carolyn. We're just glad you're here. So if anybody, wants to speak to my cat, I had somebody speak to him. He's bougie. He's a bougie cat. He's very fussy. But if you are not up at 5:30 in the morning for him, and it's not even about the food because he barely eats anything. It's about that I'm lonely. Somebody needs to get up now. I swear that's the message I'm getting. Is he in pain? No. Is he hurting? No. He went up to poor Norma. He's sleeping right now, right? Yeah. I'll have to put up some pictures of Boots. Boots has his own TikTok account. Maybe that's why he's so fussy. You put me on like I'm a star. I want to be treated like one.
But he does get treated like one.
What?
He does get treated like one.
Right?
You feed him steak, chicken.
Well, I
we wonder why he's bougie.
It's healthier than cat food. Than most cat food. Yeah, I can't complain. Yeah, they do. And yeah, Carolyn's right. She says they sleep a lot during our day and awake when we are not. No, he sleeps all the time. He sleeps at night.
I'll show you.
He's a baby beach whale. Yeah, and he's always been a girthy cat, to say it kindly. We've called him Buddha Boots for years. He doesn't eat. It's not like he's overeating. I think he's just clearing a crap load of energy at all times. So yeah. Anyway, so this is our biggest challenge lately, is this cat at 5:30 in the morning. Like literally caterwauling. It's like a whole song going on. Yeah. So we've attempted a few things, and nothing's working long term so far. He has thyroid issues. He may have thyroid issues. That's a good point, actually. And you know what? That means he needs selenite. So I could use selenite water in his food. Thanks for that. Yeah. Any advice, we take it seriously. Absolutely. At any point. What else did I want to chat about? I was mentioning there was a portal coming up. What are portals? Opportunities for further energy pillars, right? Openings, abilities. So when the frequencies align between astrology and the earth plane, so to speak, or Mother Earth and the energetics, there's these opportunities. The solstice was absolutely bonkers for us at Cadet. Absolutely. And same with the full moon. It was intense. And this next full moon, I suspect, is going to be just as, if you didn't feel the energies, bless on you, because I certainly did. And I look at it as I set my time up around that to have more space, to relax more, to get more messaging, to nap more. This week's been all napadations again, full on napadation week, and some definite energies, and a lot of picking up on what's going on for the collective, which I tend to do. And I've got to manage that, so to speak. And it's not a negative or a positive. It just is. It's just one of the bridging things that I do as a connector, right? And connecting the different, not just elements, but the different dimensions, and connecting different people together. It's just one of the things that I'm here for. I'm a connector. And so we're really excited to have a bunch more people on. Mark is coming back this week. He's a shaman who does beautiful work. He's the one with he just bought chickens. He's got chickens that he's dealing with right now. So he's being a quasi farmer. He's about an hour and a half away out in White Rock area, which is a beautiful spot, not too far from here. And yeah, just creating. And Musical Brooke will be back. Really love her. Definitely. Yeah. and we would love to connect. So if there's somebody or that you feel we should be more connected with, we will also have zero highback regarding the cannabis. If anybody's been using his stuff, we'd love to know because we found it quite beneficial. I've used it on sore knees. Then that's been very helpful for that. And yeah, so and Norma Jean, you've tried it. What have you used it for? Yeah.
That weekend that we was in Savory and we did the painting and stuff, my lower back was a little I think I had a little bit of a bulging disc. And so I had put that on there just to help with, the level of just discomfort. And it worked beautifully. And then the one thing that really assisted was that night I put on castor oil. And the next morning when I got up and I was doing some stretching, it popped right back into place.
Absolutely. And, and that's an intention too. By the way, Norma Jean worked very hard when she was with me because I hustle. If there's a task in front of me, I go into like automatic, like meditation, robotic mode, like just get it done in the most efficient and fast way. And did I capture everything? Okay, we're good. When you've been painting for that long, you tend to get into that space. Absolutely. And Cross is saying over on Rumble, I give my cat CBD oil drops when he gets loud, chills him out. Okay. Thank you for those little tidbits. I'm going to do both of those. And Berkeley saying, I'm reading You Can Heal Your Life. This book is really helping me. It reminds me of advice you have given Tanja. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. And that's all we want. Oh, I've got the most amazing manual that I picked up. And I would love to figure out where the origins of the book are, but it is, so I don't know if anybody knows about Louise Hay, The List. And so you can give your ailments and it gives the energetically or the energy behind what, or the emotional behind whatever disease, discomfort you may have. And so, but this one's intense and it goes through, it's got way more and it goes through questions to ponder so that you can see for self what might come up and what might need clearing. We always want to give you the tools so you can do this for self. Really, we never want you to be like reliant on us, required by us, and and saying that too, I'm being guided to mention, for those of you that cannot afford the membership, it's free for the first month. Come on board. We're not going to be upset with you when you cut out afterwards. We're also doing some scholarships, and quite often there are other things we need assistance with. So don't be afraid to reach out via the email, and I'll just pop that into the chat. But remember, the first 3 days are free anyway. And we value your feedback. And we value, your opinion matters to us a lot. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this either. So it's info@adventuresforconnection.com. And so I was guided to mention that. And we already have another business in the works. It's creation that doesn't stop. I cut a really good video. I cut a really good video on ADHD, and that's just bullshit, right? I've always said it's bullshit. It's a more creative mind. It's a mind that can flex differently, that can do different things. And yes, you need to train your mind depending on what you're wishing to do with it before you are in control and you do command. But it was just a really beautiful, because I'm always thinking of ideas. It's like it doesn't stop. Right? It just doesn't stop. So I am an architect, a creator, a connector, and these are really, really important for me. And then, that was Louise Hay's Freedom, Liberty, Lover. But this new book is not. Can you grab it, Norma Jean, and hold it up for everyone? Yeah, it's just on the table. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You've reached a new spiritual level when you feel guilty pulling weeds. That's from Logan over on Rumble. I get it. So, you don't want to hurt the weeds, right? You don't want to hurt anything, for you're all one. I totally get it. Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because it's one of those that even though they, they're a part of the system in what takes place. It's a beautiful method of meditation, because those weeds that you're pulling them for a reason, for whatever, it's because you got flowers or you got garden, whatever it may be. But you understand those weeds you're pulling, when you pull them, visualize them as things that niggle you, things that you want to work through, things that you feel that are issues or problems, or
release your worry through weeding. Oh, there goes another worry. Nothing to worry about. I got nothing to worry about. Yeah.
And here you go. Can you see?
Yeah, metaphysical anatomy. And can you, yeah, right? It's got everything in it. I've been sending a few people that we've been working with for a while, just the photos. And the reason why is because it gives them it's almost like a homework thing, right? And feel free to buy the book if you're called to. You can look at it online, but only through this thing called Scribed, and that's $15 a month. So I was like, I might as well just buy the book for $60 because it'll pay for itself. And so it is very possible the major things I see people dealing with, I will actually do specific videos just on that and use this as a reference, and then add in my own whatever information comes through for me, because I've been getting a lot of information lately. I just have to ask, what does this person need? Boom. It just comes to me. And I think that's why I've always been I have so many tinctures downstairs, so many herbs, and I'm making like some mullein or yarrow oil right now. I'm always alchemizing something. There's always some alchemizing happening in the house, whether it's a soup or a stew. It's just who I am, because that's part of my creative mode. And being able to do that. Have you got one in particular there, Norma?
I was just looking at the anxiety, separation anxiety.
Yeah.
And it is, and the great thing about it is that, even looking at this, it definitely is congruent with the things that I've come to understand, and understand why, they exist, why we have, as a human species, have a hard, what seems to be a hard time, but a difficult time with understanding why we have these feelings or these emotions, or why they bring up this particular reaction or response to what's going on. Because there are a lot of times, even till today, as much as I understand who I am, I still have things that come up that I must look at and recognize, and maybe even possibly get to that place and space of understanding that I must allow it to come to me, even though it's a past memory or experience that I've had. But it's got to come up for me to understand why I'm responding and reacting the way that I am. And this book that you're talking about here, it helps in that process. It's a quicker process because it gives you more of a pinpoint.
Yeah.
And what it does is, in that pinpoint, like you were talking about earlier, because you've got the cones that meet in the middle, and then they spread out. But you got to understand, those cones they're not just up and down. They're in all kinds of direction. But even in that, when you understand that pinpoint is at that center, it's at the center of it all, where your perspective gets broadened, and you begin to understand that the things that are furthest away from us are basically what you would call it's a part of somewhat of the matrix of understanding that the further away something is, you may see something, but it doesn't exist until you get there. And that's profound. That's profound to understand that. Even though, like when we just headed to Vedette, and I was telling you, I could see the screen. The trees were showing me the screen. And I was like, all it is that it's a beautiful screen of what we know this place to be. But understanding that until we get there, even though others are going there before us, it's only manifesting for them in their experience until I get there for it to manifest in mine.
Mm.
So that's the reason why, when you understand, looking at the center point, the further away something is, the smaller it is. Yet, even though we're looking at a huge, huge screen, so to speak, because of our projector, that what we got to understand is that projector works because it knows what our intent is. So what it's doing is preparing that intent of knowing that we're heading to Vedette. So it's giving me that scenery. It's giving me that that road in which we are traveling upon to get to our destination. See, that's the beauty about this process. And when you come to understand what it's about to a level and degree of it's you creating this. It's you saying, this is where I want to go. It's you saying, this is what I want to create. It's you providing that projection of where it is you want to go, where it is you want to be. So yeah, in this right here helps you to understand that pinpoint of, oh, okay, this is the reason why I'm feeling anxious is because, or I'm having that separation anxiety is because when I was small, I remember this one time I was left for 2 hours by accident. So, whatever it may be. But having this book does help pinpoint that because it gives you something to be able to, to read out loud, to put forth to someone to be able to utilize as a tool to help them come to more of a recognition of why they feel the way they do. So yeah, I apologize. I mean, didn't go on that long of a stint.
No, it's okay. Yes, Arlie, that is the book. And I'm so grateful that it helped out. Yeah, it definitely, you read the questions to read through, it will trigger something, especially now. Like things have sped up so much. Everyone has gifts. Everyone has this ability. You just have to get quiet enough to hear it. And I've had some very strong visions lately, and I'm like, I don't even know. And I don't know. I don't know if it's collective energy or if it's for me and I ask some questions, but I just have this real non-judgment, neutral space because if I don't know for fact, then I'm not giving my attention to it. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Thank you, Arlene. Yeah, it's beautiful to have confirmation. So yeah. And, and there's a chat going on the Rumble, so I'll share some of this. So Berkeley ordered Daryl's kit, which is 0 high. I'm giving the dog the THC to heal her kidney issue. It worked. My older dog, cancer survivor, takes the CBC. Perfect. Absolutely. And there's 0 high. So you're not getting high from it, which is quite beautiful. And there's many wonderful healing stories going on around it. A lot, and we're very grateful to know him. He's really busy launching something new at the moment, but we are in conversation. So, and Freedom Liberty Lover says, my neighbor had a tree removal company over. I was walking my dog and felt sad as I passed the logs. I touched them and said, I'm sorry, and I hope you transmute into something else beautiful and admired. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And even though we may feel guilty pulling weeds, and even though we may feel sorry for some trees, just remember they don't have the same emotions we do. Everything to them just is. And it's just part of the process. And so that's what's super nice about it, right? I mean, Jade, all right, I'm telling a Jade story.
I know which one too.
Right? So Jade whips the door open the other morning. Big bomb. Spiders in my room, and she had them trapped under a candle. And she's like, he went out from under the bed, across over there, and then back again. I'm like, I can't sleep with you in my room. Now her bed is really high, but she's like, well, no, he's definitely going to climb on me and come and get me, right? Jade has this profound fear of spiders. This is the first time she's caught one. I was very impressed. But I had to get it out of her room. So I'm like, well, if I get it, I'm going to vacuum it because that's how I deal with them. But Norma Jean's here, so I'll get Norma Jean to take it and put it outside. So I get the compassion level. And do you think that matters for the spider? I don't know, but overcoming that which you're trying to work through. So that was a big moment for all of us, right? And so,
it profoundly does. And it's beautiful that this conversation has come up. And, and the one thing I want to be able to express as well is that, even though we see what's taken place, understand that everything has its time, its process, and its alchemization. And to know that even though it may not be able to have those emotions, it can understand energy. So when we walk through these processes, when we're pulling those weeds, thank those weeds, because those weeds are helping you become more centered and more in understanding that Those weeds are there for release. They're utilized for whatever exercise, tool, or purpose for you.
Yeah.
You see, everything has a vital role. And and what they get from this, what that energy gets from this is our gratitude, our appreciation. Okay. So when we look at animals, when we look at trees, when we look at rocks, when we look at earth, when we look at things, show gratitude. No matter what it is, even if we see that a tree is being cut down and being utilized for whatever purpose or reason, whether it's to build a home or to make paper or whatever it may be, have that gratitude. Tell it, thank you. Thank you for whatever purpose and reason that you've been taken down. Thank you for what you've done before this. And I thank you more for what you're going to become now.
Absolutely. Beautiful. And thank you, Michelle. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because Michelle and I talk all the time. I didn't know that she had that book. So it just came in. So isn't that funny? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so question from Cross, Carolyn. So what can fear teach us? Should we be grateful for it?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Do you want to add to that first and then I'll go?
You know, fear is like any other emotion. It's energy. It's up to you and what you use it for. Either you're using it for something to help grow within self, to understand self, to become more, and to utilize it as a place of propelment, or it's something that controls you and it holds you stagnant and it keeps you in that and then what happens is you become still. As long as you're in motion, no matter what's taking place as far as your feelings or thoughts or whatever it may be that may want to stop you, don't stop. Recognize it, understand it, allow it to be something that helps you understand more about why it's coming up, because for the most part, there's nothing to fear. There really isn't, other than the thought that is brought forth for whatever particular reason or situation or issue that's taken place that is bringing that up. What it's doing is just helping you recognize that there's something that still exists within you that you haven't had a chance to look at and come to understand fully, that you may want to be able to release at that time. So yeah, be grateful for it. Everything, be grateful for it. It's there. It's there to help you understand more about who you are, because it's there to help you become more.
Yeah. So, fear has a couple acronyms, right? Face everything and rise, right? Or false things appearing as real. And so, the only time fear has an extreme purpose is if, you're going to get hit by a car and you need to jump out of the way, for example,
Right.
or if you're being chased by a big cat, right? So we have this automatic response in our body around this fight or flight. But unfortunately, due to a lot of incoming information, so lots of movies, lots of reality TV shows, lots of news, lots of war, everything's coming at us and we get overwhelmed by it and it's out of our control. And so fear is a response sometimes to that. And for that which is out of our control, it's really important to take a few deep breaths. And tapping's a really good way. I'm okay. I'm safe. And if we don't know for fact, for self, that it's actually happening, remember how much news is false and reporting old stuff. And so I recommend turning it off. And your subconscious only knows you and it only wants to keep you safe. It doesn't know the difference between a movie, reality, or your imagination.
Yep.
It doesn't know the difference. And so from ages birth until 7, your subconscious is the programming. Your mind is like the CPU, right? Your brain is the computer. And then after those 7 years, everything's compared. And this is why I really recommend doing the meditations to get reprogram the subconscious and feel better. So, I worked with somebody new recently who I asked her the other day, I'm like, so you've had 30 days of meditation. Where is your anxiety and reactionary? Where is it in the scale of 1 to 10? Where was it? And where is it now? It went from a 1 being really high to between a 7 and 8. She's managing so much better. So we can easily shift that. We don't have to suffer, but we do have to shift what we're consuming. If you don't shift what you're consuming and you're still following and right, you're letting somebody else control your narrative in your life, it can be really exhausting and can cause a lot of fear that just doesn't need to be there. Absolutely. Or being
Yeah.
chased by a spider, Cross says. Yeah, that's true. But remember that spider is just as afraid of you. But I do believe that there's some spider realm out there that some of us have been in with really big spiders. Because even in Harry Potter, they bring up the big spiders. And then what's that other movie? Space is it Spaceman with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Who talks to the creature in the spaceship?
I don't remember if it's called Spaceman or not, but yeah, it's that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, because what you're speaking to is such a profound truth because sometimes we don't know what we're doing to ourselves.
Right.
Because we are so conditioned. And when we come to recognize that, is like I've spoke to before. If it's not my reality, it doesn't exist. If it's not in my immediate environment, it doesn't exist, which means it's not real to me. Doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means it's not real to me. So you see, it's very, very, very crucial and very vitally important to me what I give myself, what I put in front of me. Very, very important because you see, this is about my world. My world's been messed up long enough. It's not so messed up anymore because I started taking responsibility and accountability for what I was doing. So
Yeah.
it's very vitally important to understand that we have so many choices to make. Choose wisely.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to post this one up. So Freedom Liberty Lover over on Rumble saying, some Vietnam War veterans spoke of an alien spider race. Does not surprise me. Because why else would it be in the movies? It has to be coming from somewhere, right? In the collective consciousness. So there's even a cat realm, right, Normastien?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
I hope to be able to create something from that one day. I do already have the creation of it. It is very, very close. But yeah, that one was a fun one. I'm not allowed to go back, but
Little Miss Traveler. Logan saying, I've noticed this time each year since my treatments that my body gets the same aches and pains. I now wonder if my body remembers. Yes,
Yep.
it's like a trapped trauma, right? Yeah, starting in 2022. Highly recommend that to love your body. We're good now. We're healing, right? We're healthy and we're whole. Absolutely.
I did the same thing with my shoulder when I had shoulder surgery. And it took me up until, I guess I best about 6-7 months ago where my shoulder was not, bringing forth what the pain things that are, getting ready to start doing the working and things like that. So, and I think it was about 9 months ago, I was actually able to get more range of motion because I only had about 90% of range of motion because it was so tight. And a lot of it was because of just that memory. And I had to work through that. So right now, every once in a blue moon, just depending on what I'm focused on and how focused I'm putting my intention in, it'll draw up a little bit because I'm feeding so much of my energy into what I'm focused on. That's what happens with my body. So I know that there are times that whenever I hit that space or that point, I'm like, okay, I was in there for too long. So my body's response is to draw up because I'm not moving my body. So, but I'm still utilizing that energy.
Absolutely. I love these agreements. Absolutely. Yeah. No, you stay out. That's all right. We've been nurturing nature lately outside our door, and more critters are showing up. So I find that really interesting. I'm like, oh, look, cute little mousies there. I see where they are. Oh, look, there's the skunk again.
Never been so close up and personal with a skunk before till I came here. And it's like, man, when you're only about 3-4 feet from where that skunk's at, and you're like, you're cute. Just
stay over there.
You are.
A skunk actually doesn't want to spray because it takes so long to regenerate. But even little baby skunks. So I had a friend who did pet control, pest control, pet control, whatever you want to get. What's pest? It's not bad, it's a pest. Got it. And you get the little baby skunk in your hand because he had a bunch overnight in the cabana. They still smell like skunk, even, but they're like little minis. Like they fit in the palm of your hand. They're super cute. It's like little baby skunks. Yeah. So there's all kinds of creatures and critters and yeah.
Yeah. In one of the great things I can point out is because of being able to be that close to a skunk and actually pay attention to what the white markings are. It looks like a bird. It's camouflage. And it's like, wow, that's so interesting, So yeah, it's, everything's just so new to me again now, to be able to approach these things in a different way, to be like more enthralled with just the anticipation of what I'm going to experience of something totally different than I would have with all the programs I had going on.
Yeah. And I would say too, one of the reasons I like feeding the birds and we feed the squirrels, and by doing this every day, I get like a read on what's happening in the environment. This morning, there was way more birds singing and there was more activity. Or the other day, Norma noticed squirrels won't even come near me today. Something's up. So it gives us this read on what's happening in the environment. And obviously you can also look at the clouds, right? But if you get up and you first just observe, what do you feel? What do you hear? What do you see? And take note of that. And just even being in that little bit of presence, sitting in the yard and listening, right, can really have a profound shift on your day. Yeah. Freedom, liberty.
That's connection.
Yeah. Right.
That's true.
Exactly. Freedom, liberty says cats and skunks can be friends. Well, I can say from my experience, I used to leave my back sliding door open for my one cat, Diego, who refused to stay in the house. Like,
oh,
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. What? That he refused to
tell.
Oh, they love hanging out on the patio. Yeah, Michelle can see my place. Absolutely, because there's so much greenery.
Jean, the code is 30-day, 33 free. But if you go to the link that T posted at the very top, it's actually on the newsletter page. It tells you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And so this is good until the end of July.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no code needed. It's an automatic for the first 33 people. It's based on 33 people not requiring. Yeah. So it's not limited.
Yeah. You just still got to put the code in for the coupon.
Okay.
Yeah. But as you're doing the payment part, that's where you'll put it in. So yes, it's all set up.
Okay. And let me just pop that link in again. So thank you for asking. And then I was just going to comment about the cats and skunks getting along. So I used to leave the back door open for my cat. And then I woke up one night and I could hear, wasn't a cat sound, but there was somebody in the cat dish. And there was a heck of a lot of conversation going on. A lot of chip, 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 chip. And so I went downstairs and there was a whole family of raccoons washing their hands in the water, eating the food. Shit, wasn't this nice? She left all this out for us. Okay, get out. And then I left it closed for that week. And then I opened it up again. And no kidding. And then I could hear something again. I'm like, no, this is not okay. So from the top of my stairs, I was like, who's that? Because I knew it wasn't the raccoons this time. It sounded different. So I was like, who's here? Get out. The cats would not go downstairs either time. They were like, nope, we aren't going down there. Nope, this is not happening. And so that time it was a skunk and I did chase the skunk out and then of course shut the door again. So you can commune with some nature, but not all nature in the same way, I guess is what my moral of my story is. Yeah. And as much as, right?
Yeah. And if another skunk comes around, I remember one night I woke up, during the middle of the night, had to get up, go to the restroom, decided to go outside. If there's two skunks and you hear some screaming going on, it's them. They scream at each other. I was like, what in the world?
Yeah. And yeah, Cross is just sharing the other day, I had a large group of crows being erratic and screaming loud. Turns out there was a dead one on the road under where they were all hovering. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so just even to be observant of that and to, live in harmony as much as this, a lot of people say, oh, it's an organic AI, it's a game. It's still nature and it's still living just like us. There's
Yes.
still souls having this experience just like us. And so the more we interact with it and pay attention to it, the more we become in harmony with it, the more what's reflected back to us is at a similar frequency, right? So we raise our vibration by doing that. And so at the end of the day, tools for you, raise your vibration, increase your frequency, whatever point you're at, whatever you need to do to achieve that, that's our mission to help you with. You might need healing, you might need like whatever you need. And even the healing generally comes in a form of a meditation and then some practical steps on what might come through and maybe just another perspective from where you're at. Because a lot of people really get caught up in their own perspective. And then when they hear somebody else say it in a different way, oh, interesting. I never thought of it like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The crows
Yeah.
are good. And even these crows that Michelle's talking about here, when they built the nest at the back of our yard, I was like, uh-oh, we don't want to be dive bombed. So we ended up like starting to feed them a little bit and like imprint my face. This is my face. I'm a good person. And we didn't have any problems, unlike some other people in the building. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's beautiful you point that out, because that's what we must understand, is that we've come in on their territory. So what
Yeah.
is it that we've got to do in order to find that harmony and balance with them again? We've got to give them something that assists them, because we've taken so much as a human race, coming in and building cities, building these tall high rises and things like that.
Right.
So for me, it's a way of giving back. And in that giving back, what happens is that's reflected back to you from that environment. Like I went out before we came on here, and I was sitting outside, and I just did like a little cobble squat, and the squirrels, there was one that was there, and it was like, and they're used to us. They're associating our face with what
Yeah.
we provide them and what we give them, you see. And what happened is for me to give them that, is I'm giving back to them, what, we've taken,
Yeah.
because they exist here with us as well, and their energy. And it's just vitally important as to what you do with that energy. And that also, as well, is a part of alchemization. What am I giving back from what we've taken? Because anytime you take something, you must be appreciative of it, but you must also return. That's the reason why they say, when you go out and you have trash, you throw trash away. You see trash on the ground, pick it up,
Right.
because you're honoring the being that you are, knowing that you're the being that you are as an organism that's living upon an organism.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you get into that perspective and everything is like a gift, or you see a face in something, right? These are all just signs, gifts. Watch the clouds. Sky watching is great, right? Get out in nature and just be whatever you need to do to regulate for self. And yeah, go have some fun. We're in that. I am a Leo, I'm a Cancer in the Eastern, and I actually kind of bridge the two because I'm like, well, I'm not all in on either one, really. I'm kind of a mix of them. So, and I'm even not even all that, so to speak, right? We're just so much more than we've been led to believe. But I do really find that I am like, summer is my time. I love the extra light. I love the warmth. I love being out in nature more. I am not a fan of the winters here. I've definitely thrived through many of them and got through a lot of them, from going up into the snow to actually just get some light and get out of the rain. And that really helped me. But I'm definitely at a point where I am ready to move on and do something else now. And so, quite excited about that. We are looking at hitting the road a little more and working on a tour bus, so to speak. Manifesting a tour bus is what's happening right now. Do you think animals chose this soul contract at this time like we did? I I don't know how conscious conscious, and I know cats and dogs are at different levels per se,
They
than
can be
maybe.
utilized.
Mhm.
They can be utilized because it, like
But
anything else,
are they choosing to come in is the question.
they're just programs.
Are animals, do you think animals chose this soul contract at this time like we did? I'm getting a no. Yeah, because if they're part of the, yeah, they're part of the creation. Not to say you can't interact with them, right? You start to feed them and then they come to you. So there's this interaction. But if
Yeah.
you talk about this better, so before we wrap up here, talk a little bit about the Sims.
Yeah, why do you think they created the Sims? It's when you come to understand everything's energy. Energy creates programs, and in those programs, over time, we've created these many varieties of leveling of what we call animals, because they help assist to keep things in natural state, in natural order. They know their part, they know their role because it's a specific program. Yet it doesn't mean that, say, if you have a loved one that passes away and they want to utilize that program to interact with you in ways, so because you're asking for that, they will. You see, that's the beauty about this, because energy knows energy, and energy can be utilized. Like you said, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just always is. It just is. But if you know that program, like most spirits do, you can utilize that program. If you're a spirit, you're the energy, you can utilize that program because it's the energy. However, in that, even that, only so much of that soul can come through, or that spirit or the energy of that spirit can come through. But it's enough to be able to have that connection. It's enough to be able to be there to provide that that nourishment, that connection, that, you know, when we have those moments of missing someone or whatever it may be. You know, I've only had 2 cats in my life where I knew that there was there was something about them, you know, and you could tell even in their eyes, even though they have those reptilian eyes, you can also see that there's a soul behind them. So, you know, it's one of those that it depends on what is, you know, how it's being utilized. What's the purpose for the utilization? You see, the beauty about this is in understanding all about how the process of how we are, who we are, how we've come, and all this that exists comes through our elements, and understanding, you know, plasma, and understanding those inner workings of all of what the elements represent in their harmony, as well as their, you know, discordance. So that's the beauty about alchemization. That's the beauty about understanding, being the magician that we all are. It's about the chi. It's about the energy. So you see, that's the reason why when we have these, man, I love it when I'm in this place and space and place where it just flows through me, because I've gained all this information and this knowledge, so that it makes a greater understanding in all, whenever I come in the meeting of that center where we all agree upon something, and my world is so much calmer. My world is working so much more in harmony with itself, and it reflects that to me out here.
Mm. Yeah, you're always being reflected. So whatever whatever you're visually seeing externally is something going on within you. And so it gives you a point of reference, a mirror to automatically adjust and ask and question and sort out. It's such a beautiful gift. And you know, everyone here connected right now, we appreciate you. You're a beautiful gift. You all are deserve to be seen and heard. And you know, that's what we cultivate. That's one of our mottos, so to speak, right? No soul left behind. Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
We have a ship. It's up to you if you want to come join us on it. We're just off the ship. It's a pretty good ship. I'm just saying, it's got a lot of energy. It'll get you point A to point B.
Right? Yeah, we're just so grateful for you guys. Absolutely. Yeah. And so, you know, it's a symbiosis. It's an energy. And that is our frequency, right? And only when we are working well on self can we show up with this frequency, with this vibration, with this excitement. And absolutely, you know, we're always here and we're always happy to help. Yeah. And so, yeah, Definitely. I've sent you guys so much love for the day. So go and enjoy your day. Do something for self. Go have a nice bath tonight if you need to, whatever you're called to do. Go plug your feet into the river. Go drink some of the water. We were definitely doing that today, which was really good. Yeah, I love all those minerals. I'm always like, come on, activate my DNA. If you remember, light is transferred through water. And so, or plasma, right? That's how it's all coming through. So, yeah, we're so blessed, really. Yeah. Aw, thank you for all the kind words, guys. All right, sending you lots of love. We're going to check out and go play in the backyard. Maybe we'll post a picture on Telegram.